Hey, geez, happy Monday. My goodness gracious. It's a day after St. Patrick's Day. Damon, is it a special day today? Have you heard about this?
I've heard about the day today. I was actually planning. I was preparing for this yesterday, and I just really didn't know what to do. And the only thing I could do is really find a couple gifts that described it well, because as Dan Bigger says in the comments right now, it is National Kurt Anderson Day today, and it's a special LinkedIn holiday.
Apparently my mom was a little worried about me, Damon. Maybe I've been a little down in the dumps lately. So apparently she reached out to Dan, said, "Hey, Dan, could you give Kurt like a little, confidence booster, a little ego?" She must, I don't know. I must be giving some bad signs. So Dan Bigger, thank you, dude, for National. Like what? All right, let's dig into and we'll hit that more, because I have a gift. We have a reveal to do, but we need to get to our guest,
because we got to talk about our guest today. We've got to celebrating women in manufacturing, and
we are celebrating.
We love that.
In Houston, we have no problems. We've got Angela Thurman here from Houston. So Angela,
she's keeping things on track.
Happy Monday. Karen Rivera, my goodness gracious. Damon, I don't know. I didn't sleep a wink last night, dude. I've been so fired up.
Ready for it.
Karen, happy Monday. Thank you for joining us.
Happy Monday.
How are you?
Fantastic. How about you?
Oh, I couldn't. Damon, if it was any better, he'd have to call 911. It just would not be pretty. All right, let's dive. So Karen, let's dive right in. You are just fierce advocate for manufacturing, in particular women in manufacturing. We're going to be celebrating women in manufacturing today. It is International Women's Month, I believe. Right? Yeah. Do we have that correct? So great time to have you on the show. Before we dive in, Karen, I have a question for you. Are you sitting down? Are you ready for this?
I am sitting down. I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Karen, when you were a little girl growing up, who was your hero? Who was your hero as a little girl growing up?
Funny, the default answer would be my parents, but that's a given. I would have to say my older brothers.
Oh, nice.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so let's dive in. Hey, Damon, we got a couple of friends here. Ariane's here. He says, hey, bring the fire. We've got Karen's bringing
Alan.
Alan's in the house. Alan, happy Monday, my friend. Hey, we got Nicole here today. Good day to you, Nicole. Happy Monday. We got Karen Rivera here. And so Dan Bigger says, hey, Damon, you have to mention that today is National. Hey, we did, Dan, you missed it. We had a whole
We did it a couple times already, Dan, but we still have more National Kurt Anderson Day antics coming up. So
yes, and I have a little gift pack that we're gonna. Yeah, we've got to dive into. We've got a couple of things. So Karen is sharing with us her hero. Karen, let's start here. Mom and Dad's name, please, and I'd love to hear why would they be heroes of yours.
Well, my dad's name is Francisco. My mom's name is Carmen. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us. But my dad, they were both in manufacturing. I think I was almost born on the shop floor because my mom was 8 months pregnant with me. And my dad had an accident where he lost his fingers on the shop floor. So she actually had to go back to work. So she, 9 months in, she clocks out on a Friday, and I was born that Sunday.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. Wow. So manufacturing is, I guess, in my blood.
It's in your, deep in your DNA, right?
Yes. And I got my work ethic from my dad.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, shout out. They are looking down, smiling on you. Damon, what do you have?
Well, you mentioned your brothers too. How many brothers do you have? And they were your inspiration. So why was that?
So I have 3 older brothers. So I am the only girl and the youngest. And for those of you thinking that, she must have been spoiled, my family did not get that memo at all.
They missed that one, right?
They missed it big time.
The 3 guys that torture the little sister. Is that what happened? Or?
Yes, they had to be reminded often that I'm a girl.
Yeah,
and they forgot a lot.
Yeah, so football and all that, right? All the roughhousing, being a little bit more
boxing,
right?
Yeah, all the kind of stuff.
So, and why were they your inspiration? Why were they your heroes?
Oddly enough, because they did forget I was a girl, and they treated me like anybody else. Yeah. they taught me early on that life isn't fair. And so the constant mantra would be, instead of saying, whimpering and whining, it's not fair, their response would be, well, what are you going to do about it? And I take that with me till this day. So if I don't like a situation, I just hear their voice. Okay, here's the situation. It's not what you want. Well, what are you going to do about it?
That's awesome.
All right, Damon. That's our first drop the mic right there.
What is
a great mantra right there, Karen, to live your life by. What are you going to do about it? Right? Life's not fair. Here's a bad thing that came our way. What are we going to do? Is what it is. What are we going to do about it? So, man, Damon, and Damon, I'm reading that book that you've been recommending, that 4 elements, that 4
agreements.
Yeah, we need to talk 4 agreements. Thank you. And this fits in perfect. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Right? Bad situation. What are you going to do about it? Karen, let's go here. So mom and dad, Francisco, Carmen, heroes of yours, of course, 3 brothers, just really kind of toughened up the little sisters, what we're hearing. Manufacturing is in your DNA. As you get past childhood, adulthood, what inspired you to bring your superpowers, your passion, your skills into manufacturing?
Oh, all that's God's work.
That's God's work. Okay, good.
That's God's work, because my career was in hospitality and tourism. So I went to school to run institutions like colleges, hospitals, penitentiaries, and was what I thought leading my ideal career, perfect life. And God had other plans and redirected. I wish he would have been more gentle about it, but he redirected me to where I needed to be, and that was manufacturing.
Isn't that how it works, though?
Yeah.
We all like it to be a little more gentle, but it's just not so good. Yeah.
And Damon, I love what Dale says here. Dale, happy Monday to you, my friend.
Keep going.
Keep going. I love it. So, all right, we're here with Karen Rivera. We're doing a deep dive. We're going to be talking about women in manufacturing, all sorts of juicy stuff. Karen, curious minds want to know, do you want to share a little bit about the pivot? So how did you go from, how did you transition from hospitality into manufacturing?
I was a project director for the Caribbean and Central America. So I traveled about 47 weeks a year.
Oh, did you really? Wow.
And that really took a toll on my health. But when you're young, you think you're invincible. And I wasn't listening to the subtle hints. So God had to be a little more in your face. And I actually ended up with pulmonary embolisms in both lungs. So I was in ICU for about 2 weeks. And when in the line of work that I was in, if you couldn't travel, that's pretty much your days are numbered. And I was let go. And I'll be honest, I was very angry for a very long time. So I had to learn forgiveness. I had to learn to trust God. And so manufacturing technically saved my life. Well, actually, no, literally, it saved my life.
Wow. Okay. This is, if you're comfortable going there, so we're going to go off script a little bit. I'd love, if we could dive in. So say, let's talk to the Karen out there that's maybe in your shoes in a situation where, you're the accidental, hey, this COVID thing happens and threw everybody a curveball, or life or health or family, a divorce, a whole slew of things. What I'd love to dive into is just, if you could share a little bit. Okay. So you have this, this health crisis, if you will, company doesn't support you, you're let go. Are you comfortable sharing what helped you get over that forgiveness, that anger? How did you overcome that?
It was a tough journey because, full transparency, I honestly didn't know how I would react if I ran into my old boss. So I literally avoided that section of the city on purpose because I really couldn't tell you how I'd react. And my ex, surprisingly, tough conversation, but I have to be thankful for him for that, because he kind of shook me and was like, think about where you'd be if they didn't let you go.
Yeah.
And I thought about it for a minute. And he's like, let me answer that for you. You'd be dead.
Yep.
As much as I didn't like the conversation, I had to admit he was right. And that was the light bulb moment. It's like you're angry at them for saving your life. It's like,
All right. So we've got a few friends that we've got to pull up, but so Karen, you're mentioning, so you're mentioning faith. And so Damon, I listen to this great podcast. It's Ed Milet. If anybody listens to Ed Milet out there, and he had a guest on. This woman had built a $1 billion company. She shared a line that I thought was very powerful. And maybe this will resonate with you, Karen. She said, rejection is God's protection.
Mm-hmm.
I had never, I've never heard that line before. Rejection is God's protection. And look how like this, all right, so we're going to dive in, but let's grab a few friends here. Hey, Nancy,
Nancy's here.
Nancy's out there. Kurt Anderson,
another
Nancy,
awesome woman in manufacturing.
Happy Monday, Angela's happy Monday. I know your dear friend is on stage here. Dan says, and I ended up in manufacturing for the last 25 years. And let's see, Nicole had a comment here. Everything happens for a reason, all part of the plan. It's tough when you're living in it. Blessings to you, Karen. How cool is that? And how about outstanding perspective? Nicole says that is awesome. And again, I won't take credit for that one. Karen, all right. So you, was it a long game? Was there a particular event, like how in your ex helped you kind of snap out of it? As you snapped out of it, walk us through that transition as you got your career back on track?
Well, funny, I was let go right around recession time. Okay. And I'm proud to say that I'm a recession survivor, but it was like losing it all. Home, cars, career, health, rock bottom. And so I figure it was the only way to go is up because you're already at the bottom. And I actually took a temp job just out of sheer desperation because I kind of like food and shelter, would like to maintain that. And
it's funny how we get picky as humans like that, right?
I know. And it ended up being in a boiler manufacturing company. And I figured it was just going to be, something temporary until I get back on my feet and go back to hospitality. Well, 16 years later, I move up in the company and now I work at the corporate office, and
awesome.
And it has been a roller coaster ride. Definitely material for the book.
Wow. Well, hey, Damon and I better be, hopefully we're invited for the book signing, Karen. So,
okay.
All right, so let's do a recap. So guys, happy Monday. Welcome to the program. We're here with Karen Rivera. We're talking about women in manufacturing, big celebration right now. And Karen, we weren't planning this. So thank you for your honesty, transparency, your vulnerability. Everybody, all of us have a story, right? Everybody, sometimes you try to be online and hey, everything's perfect. Well, guess what? It's not always perfect.
It is not.
So 2008, you get hit with health, personal, career, a lot of curveballs are coming your way. And maybe Big Brothers helped you with like, hey, Karen, what are you going to do about it? Right. So you roll up your sleeves, you start. And did that start with Cleaver Brooks? Is that where your career started with Cleaver Brooks at the time?
Actually, no, it was another company called Holman Boiler, and then they were purchased by Cleaver Brooks ultimately. So it started off as an independently owned company.
Got it. Okay. Was there a point in time when all right, like this is just a transition. I've got to, as you said, as humans, we need a roof over our head, gosh, unfortunately we need to eat once in a while. Was there a point where you're like, hey, I think I'm turning the corner here. Like I'm building a career. Maybe I've put that past behind me. Like, can you pinpoint a point was there a point in time where you felt like you were turning the corner here?
It was another redirection. I was kind of coasting along, and we were acquired, and our new boss, wouldn't say secretive, but he's, creating a strategy for this newly acquired company. And he would always talk about swimming in your lane. And I was nervous because I didn't know what my lane was. So I was having like this deja vu, like, here we go again. I'm going to let go. And I finally just sat him down and said, I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I don't know what my lane is with all of the changes. And he says, well, I was actually wanting to talk to you about this later, but we could do it now. And he says, I want you to take on the implementation and the adoption process for Salesforce for the company. And I was like, come again? Jim, and these were my words exactly to him. I never learned how to program my VCR to stop blinking, and you want me to what? And I'm forever thankful to the guy because he apparently saw something I didn't, and that started my journey on the tech side. And if you would have told the younger Karen that you were going to end up working with sales technology, I'd be like, yeah, no. But here I am.
Man,
yeah.
Now, Damon, for anybody under the age of 30, Karen, do we need to explain what a VCR is? I don't know.
They can Google it.
Might have to.
Yeah, if you don't know what VCR stands for, Google it. It's something from back in our day, right?
Yeah.
That is hysterical. So now, all right, first off, guys, we're with Karen Rivera. Please connect. Do yourself a favor. Connect with Karen on LinkedIn. She's just a dynamo. Just what a warm heart she has as you're getting a good gauge here. 2-time Salesforce certified problem solver. Now, was his name Jim? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Now, can we dive into that for a second? Did Jim see something in you that you didn't see in yourself? Did he
Yes.
How did he? So here's a guy, mentor, friend. How would you describe him? As a coworker, supervisor? What was he to you?
He was our president at the time. If I had to rank, I would say mentor, friend, boss third.
Oh,
nice.
You just get chills or what, man?
Yeah.
You know what? And God bless the gyms, because a lot of times we hear about the bad bosses, the bad this, that. You know, you and Karen, you mentioned your previous situation went south, but here Jim sees something in you, believes in you, and challenges you with something that you're like, dude, I can't control my VCR. How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
Take us through. Hey, we've got a couple comments. You got to see some comments. I don't know if you're seeing these. Love that, Karen. You are an inspiration. Nicole, I couldn't agree with you more. Diane Byers in the house. Diane, happy Monday. She says women in manufacturing. Dan, hey, another shout out for it. Thank you, Dan. My mom appreciates you. And then Angela says that's a great story, Karen. So Karen, let's keep the party rolling. You get into multiple transitions, and now all of a sudden you're going to be like Salesforce superstar at the company. Walk us through, what did that look like?
Started off on the divisional side, and it was a tough journey because, man, you want to talk about resistance to change. So I had to be the ultimate salesperson for an idea and get adoption up and running. And we ended up leading the company in terms of adoption. And then when the corporate Salesforce admin left the company, and she was also a mentor of mine, she says, Karen, why don't you apply for the position? I was like, girl, you crazy. And at the time I was caring for my mom because she was in her later stages of dementia. So I needed to work from home, and the pieces weren't coming together. So I was like, well, Karen, this might be an opportunity or a reason for you to look elsewhere. Still nothing. Couldn't find anything that I could work remote. And then the new year comes in, and Jim walks into my office and says, you're about to get a phone call and you need to take that phone call. And I was like, oh, okay. And you really need to take the phone call. I was like, okay, I will take the phone call. And it was the corporate office offering a remote position for the Salesforce admin, the position I'm in now.
Nice.
God, what a
nice
man.
Yeah. So Jim Lowell, if you're listening out there, snaps up to you.
Well, be like Jim. What a fantastic story. I know, Karen, we're going completely off script today.
Yeah.
You have and Angela says, let's get Karen to do. She can do anything. Man, drop the mic, Angela. I couldn't agree with you more.
Awesome.
Karen, let's go here. So, do you have any advice if someone out there is hearing, you know what, Karen, I'm in a similar role. I've been tasked and I'm championing some type of a technology upgrade transition. I'm getting a lot of pushback, resistance. Were there any, and again, I don't mean to put you on the spot, we can slide past this, but were there any tips, advice that you have to help with digital transformation for anybody out there maybe going through what you, Karen, did years ago?
Really get good at using examples that people can relate to. it's no secret that our industry is male dominated. So if I had to explain a concept, I had to go into my Rolodex of ideas and be like, okay, come up with a fishing example or come up with a hunting example to prove, to get this point across, something that they can relate to.
Yeah.
So that helped out a lot because it's taking this technical jargon that they're not familiar with. Okay, let's convert it into something you are familiar with. It's like, okay, so when you go hunting and you do this, it's like, yeah, okay, so that same concept, we're going to apply it here, but we're going to use different tools. And then it's like, oh, okay, I see where you're getting at. And the explanation and the fact that I met them there really helped them adopting this new technology, this newfangled thing. Yep. So I had to learn quick though.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Karen, between us, us guys we're not the smartest guys in the room. Nope. We think we are, but we're really not. So I love what you did. And Damon, we were talking about this on Friday. I think, that meet them where they are, where, that expression gets used a lot. But Karen, I love that you're going to speak their language. Yeah. If talk baseball to me and Damon, like we totally get it. Like the cloud's clear. Oh yeah. Now I can understand calculus when you convert it to baseball. Right. So absolutely love that. So when you brought it down to their level, put it into like a fun analogy or something that they were passionate about, then you started seeing some buy-in and some less resistance.
Yeah. And some guerrilla tactics had to come into play as well about change is inevitable, and some were kicking and screaming, and then when they started seeing how easy things got, it's like, oh, okay, it's like, I'm here to help. My job is to set the stage for you to shine and work your magic. That's all I do.
Yeah.
All right, this is awesome. Okay, and on her, go ahead, Damon.
Well, and from a sales side, I know CRMs, I mean, you first look at them, you go, oh, why are we doing? Oh, why are we? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. But then when you start seeing what they can do for you on the backside of really engaging with your potential customers, staying in touch with them, and just as a resource for you to be able to go back and listen. What did I talk to Steve or Susan last year about? When we were doing that, it's just those kind of things that it gives you is incredible anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the beginning, when they were first introduced, it's like everybody's like, what are we doing?
Right.
And I would still giggle when it went from what and the hemming and hawing and the digging in their heels to, wow, it could do that. Yeah. We could do really? And I'm like, yeah. Imagine, we can do that.
Now, Karen, you never have any of those I told you so moments when one of your teammates are like, man, I don't know how we ever got by without this. Like, do you ever hey, do you remember that day?
I've had a couple, and I just say, that is a great idea, and just let it ride.
Well, hey, kudos to you. And so, hey, and Nicole here says, preach. And then she, this is a great quote that Nicole shares, a quote that she was given last week. Be the person that everyone else thinks that you are. Love that, Nicole. Keep them coming. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat box here. Strongly encourage you, connect with Karen. You're getting a sense of her passion, her energy. Karen, if we're ready to slide into, I want to dive into women in manufacturing.
Okay.
You are very passionate about the organization. Can we go there? Let's start with what is women in manufacturing, and how did it come on your radar first?
Well, it's the only industry association dedicated with year-round programming for women in manufacturing, for women who have chosen a career, whatever that career is in manufacturing. And it came about because there were, I believe, like 6 of us in the state of Texas wondering why there wasn't a chapter in Texas. After the initial shock wore off, we reached out to the organization and started having conversations with them. And we were, putting things together to do the chapter launch. And just as we were getting ready to do the launch, COVID hit, and we had to switch gears to the virtual world. And it's funny because our founding chair, I didn't meet her till almost 2 years later at the annual summit in Atlanta. and she actually flew in from Germany. And oh my goodness, I almost knocked her over with the hug that I gave her, because Angela was with us, and she said, "Hey, Karen, look who decided to join us in Summit." And when I turned around and saw Lisa there, I was just like, "What?"
That is awesome.
That's cool.
Okay,
That's cool.
so women in manufacturing. So I want to dig into. There's a group of you that are questioning, why is there not a chapter in the state of Texas? And
there is one now.
And here, you guys raise your hand, you roll up your sleeves, and like big brothers say, "Hey, Karen, what are you going to do about it?" You guys do something about it. So instead of complaining about it, you make it a reality. How? So again, like maybe talking to other folks out there, maybe they're in a state where they don't have a chapter. What inspired you to take the time, the energy, the resources? Let's go there for a minute about how, and what it did for you to raise your hand and to take this project
on. I think working in the Salesforce ecosystem and starting with that, and then transitioning into corporate and being the new kid on the block again, the one question that helped me till this day is, how can I help? How can I help? If it's a project at work that I'm not familiar with, I may not know all of the bits and pieces of the project, but I can contribute something. How can I help? The same thing with the chapter. Do I know what I'm doing most of the time? No. But I wing it, and we have great resources. Our team is amazing. And if I don't have the answer, someone's going to have the answer. And it's always back to the question, to our members, to the industry, to the community, how can we help?
There you go.
Damon, I don't know if we have had a moment in silence for a little bit, Karen, on our show. I know you've caught a few of our shows. We have like these, we have the drop the mic moments, but then we have the moments of silence. That was a really good one. What I want to dig into is, as you've spearheaded and championed bringing this chapter to the state of Texas, and again, for the potential Karens out there that are like, "Hey, we don't have one in our state," what has it done for you personally? Like, the friendship you have with, you've mentioned Angela, when you're given almost knock over Lisa with a big hug. What have these relationships done for you personally and professionally by bringing this chapter to Texas?
Oof. Personally, it has helped a lot, because I wasn't a military brat, but our family moved a lot. So we were, I guess my parents were nomads in another life. I don't know. And so I never was really around anyone for extended amount of time to form friendships and relationships. So the chapter has helped me personally that way. I've met some amazing women that, girl fan, geek out amazing women. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the chapter. Professionally, it has taught me project management. Shout out to Angela. She's been my project management mentor and answered the plethora of questions that I have for her. It helps me at work also with project management skills, patience, diplomacy, because my younger self was rough around the edges. And so, yeah, it has definitely helped in many aspects that I would have never imagined.
That is awesome. Let's grab a
lot of comments coming in here.
Hey, I'm going to work my way backwards. So
there you go.
My dear friend Diane Beyer says, to make the world a better place, believe in someone and thank your mentor. I tell you, that was, big shout out to Jim. We'll have to get the replay to Jim, Karen. So Angela says, you know what? Let me back up. Women in Manufacturing Texas owes Karen so much. She is the heart of the chapter. She drives across the state to attend events that she has planned so that local members feel her love. Man, is that good. And hey,
girl, I did not wear waterproof mascara today.
Hey, we got you covered. Damon, we cry all the time on the show. So, and Dan says, hey, complaining is nothing, fixing the problem.
Yep.
And how about Nicole says, thank you. I have another point. This was amazing. Nicole, thank you for joining us today. Happy Monday to you. You know what? And before we lose anybody, you know what, Karen, I apologize. So speaking of like women in manufacturing, friendships, relationships, Dan, before we lose anybody else, let's give. So I've got a little gift box. So Karen, if you don't mind, I'm going to do a little reveal
I'm
party
curious.
For National Kurt Anderson Day,
yeah. So
appointed by
hey,
Dan
enough
Bigger.
about Karen. Let's talk
Dan.
about Kurt, right? So I'm just
Yeah.
all right. So let's. Hey, first off, I've got a hat from the Savannah Banana.
Oh my goodness!
You guys are baseball fans.
Oh my goodness!
If you want to learn about branding or marketing,
oh my goodness,
this guy is absolutely
insane.
Dude, I can't thank you enough. That's a perfect hat. Cover my bald head. Okay. Secondly, so Dan, look at this, Damon.
Oh,
friendship is when people know all about you, but they like you anyway.
Oh,
Karen, how about that one?
cool.
Yeah.
How's that one?
It's a beautiful thing when they get you.
Yeah.
And Dan and his wife Julie, they manufactured these products right here. Julie Bigger, Glimmer Glass Gifts, right there. Look at that, Damon.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Awesome.
Say, thank you for supporting Homemade in America. So this is is women in manufacturing right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then lastly, I've got the gift of a tree. And look at this, Damon.
Nice.
How about that? How about that right there? So this all came from, you know what? And I didn't. Hey, my I don't have the what do you call it? Waterproof, cry-proof mascara.
Yeah,
I don't wear mine either. But this is the tree of life symbolizes the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. It honors our ancestors and family connections with its branching arms. It stands for growth and strength and the foundation of its strong roots. So, Dan, to you and Julie, God bless you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. You are the best. This is
very cool.
Phenomenal. So, all right, I might get choked up. All right, so Savannah Bananas. All right, how about that? So, all right, tied in perfect with the show. Women in manufacturing. Karen, so let's go here. Talk a little bit about your superpower. I know you're very modest. Talk about your superpowers today, how you help companies. You're helping and our dear friend Angela, women in manufacturing. You do some social media, your content. Share a little bit about what you do on a daily basis. How are you making the world a better place?
Like I said earlier, I like setting the stage for others to shine. And it's funny because back in my hospitality days, even event planning, my excitement was the build up to the event, the logistical, all the, the logistical side of it, the planning side of it. Once it was lights, camera, action, I'm like, okay, what's the next event? And it's the same concept, just in a different arena. It's how can I set the stage for people to shine, whether that's women in manufacturing, whether that's our sales rep organization, because if you win, I win. Well, I like winning. So if the equation is you win, I win, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure you win. Because if you win, I win. And just watching people shine, especially people that wouldn't have the voice, whether they're shy, they're, introverted, they're not in the, just giving them that stage.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, and we've got Diane Byer says, let others shine. Wow. So let's go in. What did I think we got a couple other Angela says, hey, I love the Savannah Bananas. And Dan says, I'm still waiting for them to play. Dan says, hey, no problem. As a matter of fact, Dan, you know what? My empty wall is going to be looking good with some Glimmer Glass Gifts right there.
There you go.
Dan, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, dude. Karen, I want to come back to women in manufacturing. What are some challenges that you want to? What do you see? Some challenges for women in manufacturing today, and what are some advice that you tell for younger folks? Damon and I are both girl dads. What are some things that you tell younger women about just the enormous, wonderful, incredible opportunities in manufacturing? So, two questions there. What do you see with some of the challenges, and then where do you see some of the future opportunities for young women in manufacturing?
Funny, the challenges I see more in women my age. Because it's whether you're approaching midlife, you're thinking you're on the, downside of the hill. Don't count yourself out just yet. There's still more for you to give and more for you to grow and opportunities for you. And especially to my moms, whether you're a single mom or a two-parent home, but moms, you're already doing the hardest job known to man. So any challenge you come across at work is a cakewalk because you've already conquered the hardest. So go for it. Push forward. Tell them, hold my beer, and just show them what you're made out of.
Hold my
Now,
beer.
for
I
the
love
younger
that.
generation, I would say do not count manufacturing out. There's so many opportunities, more than you can even imagine. And I tell people all the time, it saved my life. I'm living proof that there are options for you in manufacturing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So for anybody listening, maybe if they missed what you mentioned earlier, so you're mentioning it now again, save my life. Can you just without, and I don't mean to be redundant, but just share a little bit of how did this career save you? What did it mean? What did it do for you?
Aside from protecting me from the detrimental health concerns that were developing with my previous career, it showed me what I'm capable of. It gave me self-confidence. Yeah. And it's funny because the day I walked into the corporate office, I bump into the CEO and he asked me, well, Karen, we're expecting great things from you now that you're at the corporate level. And the old me would have cowered and ran away. And I just told him, Bart, I have just one phrase for you. And he's like, what's that? Hold my beer. And he just got such a kick out of that. The HR manager probably cringed, but he got a kick out of that. And now every time he sees me, he's like, do you need me to hold your beer? And I'm like, not quite yet, but I'll let you know.
Oh my gosh.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. I'll tell you, Karen, we've got a lot of great quotes, a lot of drop the mic moments.
Yeah.
You've talked about how you've saved your life, God's path, you've talked about just your brothers, what are you going to do about it? And just there just a lot of inspiring things. Karen, I know you're super busy. We're going to start winding down.
Okay.
We talked about opportunities for women. What are you so excited about in the future of U.S. manufacturing? Why are you so bullish, excited, such a fierce advocate for manufacturing? What are you so excited about for the future in manufacturing?
Seeing how so many companies came to a standstill because of offshoring, bringing it back home and being reliant on us excites me, because if there's ever a disruption again, it's not going to make us skip a beat because we'll be ready. I'm excited about the opportunities with all of the technology and the stuff that the younger generation is going to do long after I'm gone. And that's exciting to see, what magic they're going to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. All right. Hey, and Dan Bigger says, hey, amen. My wife built a business by raising 2 sets of twins, coaching volleyball, being the director of a volleyball club, and on the school board. And that is absolutely awesome. Julie is a great inspiration. Another woman in manufacturing. Karen, let's take it here. Where can folks find you? Obviously here on LinkedIn. Are there any other places that people can find you to connect with you?
Not LinkedIn is probably the easiest way. Have to do a plug. We want to check out the Win Texas chapter page on women in manufacturing.
Nice.
And you can see all of our events coming up. We'll be actually Sunday. I'll be in Austin, kicking off the first meet and greet in Austin with a wonderful brunch at the Josephine House. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Very
Damon,
cool.
what are your takeaways today from this conversation?
Well, first of all, it's cool to hear your story and how you were able to, land in manufacturing and accidentally, self-admittedly, but how it's been able to really give you a long-lasting career with a lot of challenges and stuff. And that's what I think, if people are listening and they haven't considered manufacturing, wow, it is I mean, there's so many different things to do, and you can, just like in life, you can start doing one thing in manufacturing. I might go to school to be a CNC machine operator, right? Or a programmer or something, but I may end up running a facility or doing the engineering for them, or do quality assurance, or who knows, marketing. There's just so many things in these businesses that once you get into the industry, it just opens a plethora of different things you can do. And then you being able to go from, okay, now I'm working at a division, then I'm heading up the corporate efforts for it. It's just so cool to hear your story.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, there's just so much unpack here, and health challenge, career pivot, anger, some, if I can use the word, some resentment, right, Karen?
Mm-hmm.
And how you came to peace, how you embraced forgiveness, out of survival, you start a new career in manufacturing.
Yeah.
You connect with a mentor. And as much as it takes a mentor, and I give Jim, God bless Jim, and a ton of credit, look at what you did, the role that you played, that Jim believed in you. And I just love what an inspiration that is, that you came in, though maybe a few things were thrown your way that were not welcomed, were not pleasant, were not exciting, health, career, so on and so forth. You just showed true resiliency, and look at where you're at today. And so man, I'll tell you, you gave me chills today. Hey, Sarah's here today. Sarah's
here. That's awesome. I saw that.
Love that we're celebrating women in manufacturing. Super inspiring, Karen. Also, shout out to the male allies, Kurt and Damon. Sarah, thank you. God bless you. Connect with Karen here on LinkedIn. Wonderful.
Oh, story. Sure.
And so, Karen, I do have one last important question for you. So,
what's up?
Now I know you've caught the show, so maybe you're familiar with this, but you're in Houston, right? Do I have that correct? You're in Houston?
No, I'm in East Texas, the Piney Woods.
You're in East Texas. Okay. So, and hey, Angela says, love how Karen took advantage of the opportunities that were presented. You know what? Yes. There were so many nuggets here. Karen raised her hand. She took advantage of opportunities. The question, how can I help? How can I be help? It wasn't, woe was me. What are you guys going to do for me? How can I help you? And look at the career that you've built, Karen. So Karen, so you mentioned hunting and fishing for the guys to kind of speak, we need it simple. Are you a baseball fan by any chance?
I would say no, because I think if I said yes, it'd be insulting to baseball fans.
It'd be insulting, but you get the idea. Like you get the idea. And I've got my new Savannah bananas. Man, is this going to be perfect? Look at this. You know what, Damon? When you don't have any hair, you need a hat. It's especially where I live. Okay, Karen, let's say you're a baseball fan. We're at the Savannah Bananas baseball game, or whoever. Do you have a team? I don't know. Do you have
the Evil Empire is my team.
Oh, the Yankees?
Yes.
Oh, what? Damon, plug your ears. Hey, so am I. All right, so let's say the Yankees are playing the dreaded Red Sox. The Yankees are playing the Red Sox, Karen.
Okay.
It's a playoff game, and it's the bottom of the ninth. Damon, a week and a half from opening next week.
I know. Season. I'm going to a game next week.
So it's bottom of the ninth. It's tied score. There's somebody on second base, and the Yankees it's 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, and Yankees need a run right now. You with me?
Yes.
2 outs, runner on second base. We need a hit to win this game.
Okay.
The manager turns down the bench and says, hey, Rivera, get up to the plate and hit the run in. We need to wrap this game up. You walk up, you grab your helmet, you grab your bat, you're swinging, you're ready. On your way to the plate, what is your walk-up song?
Oh, my goodness. I have 3, and I know I have to choose one.
You know what? Rattle off all 3. Damon, you got your phone ready?
Yeah, I got it ready.
Okay. Back in my much younger years, in my early 20s, I was an amateur bodybuilder. And my coach, think of the old guy from Rocky.
Yeah.
That was him.
Cut me.
Like personification. And we were preparing for a competition, and my walk-up song, I guess, would be Van Halen's Right Now.
Right. All right, that's a good one.
Unfortunately, he passed away suddenly, but then again, he was pushing 80. And it just broke me losing him. And I never got to compete to that song. So I would probably say that would be one. And the second one is it's an independent rapper named Tom McDonald. He's a little controversial, very political, but he has struggled so much with his demons and his journey. And I kind of have much respect for him for being so vulnerable and honest about it. And he has this one song called Best Rapper Ever. And I don't know what's better, the song or the video, but it's this battle with his demons telling him that he's not good enough. And his response is, I'm the best rapper ever. I don't care what you say. I would probably, gun to my head, I would probably pick that one. Tom McDonald's Best Rapper Ever.
Okay, so Van Halen right now, Tom McDonald, Best Rapper Ever. What did you have a third?
The third one is Eminem. I can't think of the name of the song right now.
Lose Yourself.
Yes.
Yes, that's all right. So, all right, Karen, thank you for playing our little game. I love it. We've got a couple comments here wrapping up. Karen walked into the lion's den as the lioness she is and never felt like a rabbit. Great role model for the future women in manufacturing. Diane, I could not agree with you more. Dr. Pawar says you are motivation for many. Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate you joining us today. Man, Damon, was this an awesome chat or what?
Yeah, it was. It was.
If there's one thing I learned, if you're going through hell, walk in like you own the place.
All right, we're gonna walk in like you own the place.
Walk in like you own the place.
Just an unstoppable confidence. All right, Karen, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody in the chat box today. Thank you for the comments. Boy, go back. Catch Karen, connect with Karen on LinkedIn, do yourself a huge favor. As you can tell, high integrity, incredibly inspiring, just a huge advocate for U.S. manufacturing. Karen, and you know what? And everybody that's been, Sarah says, Mike Job, if you've been hanging out, it's a great time to stand up and stretch. And how about a big round of applause for Karen Rivera today? So,
thank you.
Karen, awesome stuff.
Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate everybody out there. And so, hey, let's close out. We have a great show coming up on Friday, but in the meantime, I encourage you, I invite you, I welcome you. Just be someone's inspiration, just like Karen was for us today. And man, it's just, we're all making the world a little better place. So Karen, hang out with us for 1 second. Thank you. God bless you. God bless everybody. Have a killer week, and we will see you Friday.
Thanks, everyone.